Let me ask you a question. Are you tired of trying to learn English? Tired of feeling like you're working hard, but your English isn't getting better? And you don't see the progress? Like you've downloaded every app, taken every course, watched every video, and nothing has worked? And there is that voice in your head that says, maybe English just isn't for me? If that voice sounds familiar, if you've lost motivation and are thinking about giving up, wait. This video might be the most important one you watched this year, because I know that feeling. I've had the same thoughts more times than I can count, and I hope that my story can be the proof you need to keep going. Because the most powerful motivation is simply knowing you are not alone. Hi, my name is Maxim, and this is going to be a very personal video. This isn't your typical English learning channel, and I'm not a teacher. I'm a struggling, hopeless student, just like you. English has always been a challenge for me. I've given up many times. I've told myself that it's not for me, that starting to learn English from scratch at 30, it's too late, that I'll never be good at it. But each time, somehow, I came back. I found some new reasons to keep going. I kept trying new methods, new strategies. I've spent thousands of hours on this journey, and I'm only halfway through, and I'm still learning. But then, one day, I realized something. After all that efforts, English had become more than something I study. It's become a habit, a hobby, a part of my everyday life. It influences how I think, what I watch, and how I experience this world. So, the first message I want to share with you is this. If you've lost motivation, give yourself a little more time. Don't quit just yet. Maybe take a break, but always come back. Because if you keep showing up, even when it's hard, it can become part of you too. And there is a quote that really helped me understand this. It takes time to build a habit, but once it becomes a habit, it stops being a battle. And that's what's happened to me. This quiet personal victory was the first proof that maybe English was for me after all. Have you ever felt like a dog who understands everything but can't say anything back? I have. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's felt that way. Most of my conversations in English sound like this. Hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. But I wanna say more. I wanna talk about real things. Life, ideas, doubts, hopes, dreams. And to be honest, unfortunately, I've never been confident enough to do that. So, this channel became my space to practice, to learn how to express what matters to me in English. For example, to record this video, I wrote a script in my native language, translated the script using a translator, then created an AI voice reading it, and repeated to that voice over and over to get the pronunciation at least a little bit right. Then I recorded many takes of myself, saying it aloud, stumbling, rewinding myself, until one version felt good enough to share. I know this is not a real, spontaneous conversation. At least not yet. But I know that after recording this video, I'll be able to talk about the same ideas in real life too. And with every video I make, I'll get closer to my goal, to speak deeply and confidently about real topics in English. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you're tired of surface-level conversations. Maybe you wanna say something that actually sounds like you. So, my next message is this. If you are not yet confident enough to speak freely in English, prepare. Write your thoughts in your language, translate them, practice them, and then share them. It works. Because real confidence comes not from perfect grammar, but from saying something that matters. And maybe it's easier to do that with someone who is still learning, like me, than with someone fluent. So, I wanna ask you, what is the one topic you wish you could discuss freely in English? Write it in the comments. Let's see what really matters to us. Or if you're feeling brave, record a video where you share something important in English and send it to me. I'd love to hear your story. Let me be honest, I'm terrified of cameras. I don't like how I look on video. I hate hearing my own voice. Back in school, I once fainted during a performance because I was so nervous. I worry about what people will think, especially people I know, especially when I'm speaking English. Yes, I have a public speaking phobia. So yeah, making this channel, it's hard. It's probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. It's way outside my comfort zone. But I need to do it, to prove to myself that I can grow, and also because it's one of the best ways to remember something. It's not perfect, but it's real. And maybe you feel the same. Maybe you're afraid to speak, to make mistakes, or to look silly. That's why I'm sharing my story with you. So you know that you are not alone, you are not weak or broken. You are a normal person. And it's completely natural to be afraid. And with my own example, I wanna encourage you to leave your comfort zone when learning English. Because the things we learn with the strong emotions are the things we remember forever. You probably don't remember what you had for lunch a week ago, but I'm sure you remember a moment when you felt joy, embarrassment, or pride. Strong feelings work like a glue for your memory. So, I wanna leave you with a small challenge. Do one tiny thing in English that scares you. Just one. Maybe it's asking someone a question in English, or leaving a voice message for a friend, or even recording your own voice for 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be big, just one small step. And when you do it, I'd love to hear about it. Share in the comments how it went and how you felt. This isn't just about language, it's about a dream. I dream of traveling the world, talking to people from different cultures and having deep conversations with them. I dream of working in tech again, in an international company, where I can use English to connect with people, not just survive. And English is the bridge to that dream. Maybe my dreams sound a little silly, but they are mine, and they are the reason I keep going. What about you? What is your dream? Why are you learning English? You don't need a perfect answer. You just need a reason. Something that pulls you forward when motivation runs out. So, my next message is dream. And connect English to the dream. Think about why are you learning English and how it helps you to get something you deeply want. And remember, a dream is about the journey, not just the result. And the distance between dreams and reality is called action. So, I invite you to share your dream in the comments. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. Let's create a wall of dreams right here to inspire each other when motivation is low. Do you know what I realized is the most important component, the one thing that makes all the other things actually work? Is the simple fact that language is a tool for connection, and we are social creatures. I realized this when I tried to share my small English discoveries with my friends, and found myself forcing conversation on them that they just weren't interested in. Because, as you probably know, if someone isn't as deeply involved in something as you are, if they have their own interests that differs from yours, they can't fully share your enthusiasm. So, during one of those moments of probably annoying my friends and feeling frustrated that I had no one to share this huge part of my life with, I came to this realization. To stay motivated, I needed people who were on the same path. People like me, English learners, people somewhere out there learning the same things, fighting the same grammar rules, and most importantly, people I can finally share my thoughts and discoveries about learning English with, and who can share theirs with me. People walking the same road. I needed a community. I'm trying to build it right here, around this channel, where I can be in touch with people just like me. And for me, you are not just a viewer. You're someone I can finally share this part of my life with. You can cheer for me, and I can cheer for you. And I'd love you to be a part of this. If you feel that this is the right community for you, introduce yourself in the comments. Tell us where you're from or share one interesting fact about yourself. Just give it a try. So, the next message is this. To stay motivated, you need to find a community to walk this road with you. Try to find your people. It doesn't have to be a group of learners like this channel. Maybe it's an English-speaking subreddit that matches your hobbies, or a group of gamers you play with online, but somewhere where you feel like you belong. A space where English becomes part of your everyday conversations, your humor, your stories, your hobbies, where it feels like connecting with people, not just studying a subject. And I wanna finish this part with a quote. If you wanna go fast, go alone. If you wanna go far, go together. If you watched this far, I hope I've inspired you at least a little. What I'll share next is more about the concept of this channel. If you wanna stop here, feel free. But maybe this part will give you motivation as well. So, what is this channel about beyond everything I've already mentioned? Once a week, I attend a small speaking club with Alison. She isn't a typical grammar teacher. She is a native speaker, a conversation partner, and a friend for us. And sometimes that's exactly what a student needs most. Her story of how she decided to start teaching English in her retirement, despite not to be a professional teacher, is as motivating as my story of why I'm learning English. But I'll let her to share this story in one of the next videos with you personally. And when I first shared the idea of this channel with her, I didn't think she'd say yes. But she did. with excitement. She told me that taking on creative challenges at any stage of life is one of the best ways to stay active and alive inside. And I think that alone will be motivating to many of you. I count my mistakes in every video with Alison, and I hope you will learn from my mistakes too. And if I can put fear of public speaking aside and show those mistakes to the world, maybe that will motivate you to keep going, no matter how many mistakes you make. And remember, mistakes are proof that you are trying. I once read something powerful. You remember 10% of what you read, 40% of what you write, and 90% of what you teach. And I thought, maybe that's what I need. Maybe if I write scripts and practice with my teacher on camera, maybe then I'll truly learn. And maybe others can learn with me. Not from a perfect teacher, but from someone who is still on the way. I also read this. People connect more with someone who is just 20% ahead of them than with someone who has already reached the top. It's like climbing a mountain. It's much easier to get help from someone who is just a little bit ahead of you on the path than from someone who is shouting down from the very top. So, if you are a bit ahead of me with your English, don't hesitate to correct me in the comments. Teach me, teach others. I'll be happy to learn from you. And maybe you'll see, even if you are not a teacher, this process works. If you try explaining something to others, you'll learn it better too. So, I want you to think, what is your way of teaching? You don't have to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you can explain a new grammar rule to your friend, or write a short post on a social media about a new word you learned, or even explain it to your dog or your cat.
Lulu, did your mommy leave you? Yeah. Do you miss your mommy, Lulu? Yeah. Do you want her to come back?
The act of explaining is what matters. Because when you explain something to others, you don't just help them, you help yourself most of all. You know, the idea for this video came to me on a day when I was reading some very motivating story and felt inspired to create something motivating myself. But the funny thing is, I've already forgotten where I saw it and what the story was even about. I can't go back to it even if I wanted to. And that got me thinking. That is the problem with motivation, isn't it? It can be temporary. You see something great, it inspires you for a day, and then it's just gone. So I thought, what if I create one motivating video and then, together with you, we could turn the comment section into our own library of motivation. A place where we could collect our own motivating thoughts and stories about learning English and return to them, weeks or even months from now. A place where I can be inspired by you and you can be inspired by each other and get a reminder that we are not alone in this. So, this is my invitation to you. Help me build this wall of motivation. Please share your story in the comments. Tell us what drives you or what makes you wanna give up. Your comment isn't just a message, it's the first brick. It might be exactly what someone else or even my future self needs to read to keep going. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this far. So, let me ask you again. Are you still tired of learning English? I hope that now you feel a little less tired, a little more hopeful. Because if you are learning English and struggling and trying and dreaming, you are not alone. You are not just a viewer. You are part of this. This channel is for you, for us. Let's climb this mountain together, step by step. And if the journey feels right for you, don't forget to subscribe. This is not just a button. It's your way of saying, I'm part of this climb. Thank you for listening. Bye.